Welcome to the Help Her Be Brave podcast show, where we have great ideas on how you can help save lives. I'm Amy Ford.
And I'm Jessica Russo.
And today we have sweet Leah with Woven-Togehter.
Yes.
She is so sweet. I remember the first time I heard her story, I was crying. It was so beautiful. I just feel like birth moms are heroes. They really are. They are heroes.
Yes.
Hey, Leah. Thanks so much for being on the show with us today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to talk to you guys.
Yeah. So I remember the first time I met you, it was, I think, at a pro-life women's conference back, maybe it was like the first one they ever did.
It was.
Yeah, because it was in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you share your story on a panel?
I did. And we premiered my adoption story video there as well.
That's right.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is so awesome. I remember just loving all of the stories of the birth moms. And they were so powerful and so amazing. So you got to tell our listeners about your story.
Yes, I will try to sum up as much as I can the last 16 years. Actually, it was 17 years that I found out that I was pregnant. So I was 16 years old myself. And we've had an open adoption since then. And that whole experience, obviously, that you've been through as well, is just kind of your low of the lows. And God really used that time to draw me to Him through people, through my family and support systems around me and teachers, and the love and the grace that they showed to me just changed my life and just softened my heart to be sensitive to His calling, to what to do with my situation. And that was adoption for me. And so around 7 months pregnant, I really just surrendered my life to Jesus. I surrendered to the idea of adoption at all. I was very resistant before. And so it wasn't anything that anybody said to me. It wasn't coerciveness. It was just like, okay, Lord, I feel that this is the best plan for me and my child. And I trust you with it. And from there, things fell into place very, very quickly. And the first profile I looked at, I just felt so connected to them, and that they would raise my child, that if I could parent and be in a place where I could provide her with a father, that she would be raised really well by them. And we clicked immediately, and we had the same just vision for our adoption and, kind of doing this journey together. And from there, we just started our relationship as, adoptive parent and expectant mom at that point. And when she was born, we just kind of, I like to call it kind of like a different kind of blended family, that as she's grown, she's always known who I am, and we've had lots of visits, and she now sleeps over at my house in the weekends, not some weekends, in the summer. She'll come for a week or two sometimes just to spend time with the children here that I now parent and spend more quality time with us. So it's been really just incredible to see how God has blessed that obedience. That it's what I knew He was calling for us, and just how healthy she is at 16, and she's not who I was at 16, and not seeking outside things to love her and to fulfill her, but she turns to Jesus for that and turns to people who love her around her. So for us, adoption was the right decision, and that inspires what I do with Woven-Togehter. And that I also was pregnant again at 19, and I chose to parent and get married. And so I feel like I've walked both paths, and I'm able to be kind of this person who is non-biased, and I've walked both ways, and there's really no easy way to move forward. And it's really what's best for you. And that's really what has driven what I love to do to help support people.
That's so awesome. I just feel like birth moms are so brave, so amazing. The fact that they sacrifice their body for 9 months to save a baby's life. And when abortion is available, everywhere, that they still chose to carry their baby and to give their baby an amazing life. And makes me think about Moses and when he was a baby and in the basket, and what the mom must have felt like knowing that she had to release him because she wasn't able to care for him because of things surrounding her circumstances, and the king, and I love that he like the courage that she must have had to finally let go. And then she still got to be a part of his life. But then how he went and changed the world. He set the Israelites free, and he was a world changer. So I am just every birth mom that through Embrace Grace, because there are birth moms that go through Embrace Grace as well. It's for both women that choose to parent or to place their baby for adoption. And so I've had the privilege and honor to walk alongside women that choose to place their baby. And I am so inspired, so amazed. And I know also after it's hard, like even if they're confident in their decision the entire time, there's a piece of you that you just carried for 9 months that's gone, and there's a grieving process, that happens. And just your courage is so inspiring.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely something that takes a lot of strength that you don't know that you have. And it was absolutely all credit to the Lord of carrying me through that, just through supernatural peace. And it is so hard. And I think that's something that is kind of forgotten and not talked about as much in the pro-life movement, or even in the adoption community. It's starting to become a little bit more talked about, but that there is a life after choosing life, and it's a lifelong journey of coping through grief, even with an ideal open adoption such as mine. I have a lot of answers, and she has a lot of answers, and we have that bond and connection, but there's still a lot of, triggers and moments of really missing her, and especially those first few days after the hospital. And really like the first 2 years were just intensely full of grief. So we like to call it really bittersweet. Even now, 16 years into it, we call it bittersweet, that it's a lot of good, and we try to focus on that, but we also acknowledge that it can be bitter too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, tell us about what you're doing at Woven-Togehter.
Yeah, so in the last few years, I was really plugged into the adoption community, just trying to use my story to educate and kind of trickle down to the birth mom and adoptee experience by starting with the adopted parents and helping them to see how can you love the expectant mom that turns into the birth mom of your child, and how it can be done well. And so that started with education courses, which turned into the pro-life courses that will help train, churches and pregnancy centers, anyone who is working with an expectant mom who is considering her options of updated adoption information and what open adoption is and what it's not, and how can you support her through this, and how can you talk about adoption without being coercive. And so that's where it kind of all began. And then we turned into a nonprofit so that we can really expand our services and our programs to be able to more fully support the healing process that comes with the adoption journey. Adoption has trauma for really all sides. There's some kind of trauma you're walking into it with. And so our goal is to be able to be woven together. Our stories are woven together. The triad is woven together, but also doing that with hope and with healing. And so currently, aside from the courses and things to kind of prep you for those things and walking through that journey, also working through tangible things. Like we just had a birth mom dinner that was amazing in Charlotte, North Carolina. And just the stories we heard there were birth moms who were, 18 years into their placement and had never met another birth mom before. Wow. And so I know a lot of birth moms feel isolated and alone or ashamed of their decision. And so the fact that she could walk into this room knowing that we, to some degree, have the same, common thread, and that we understand because we've been there too. And our stories may look completely different, but there's just this common thread, and that you're not alone, and that this is a safe place to talk about it. And it's a safe place to cry and ask questions or to share the joys of your journey as well. And so that was really powerful, just to see the different, the different people in the stories walk in, and just the feedback we got after was incredible. Just to know, like, you see me and you get me, and I feel so loved right now, which was our goal. We have a lot of things like that we really want to build on. We're still pretty new, but we are really, really excited for the coming year and for the future of how we can keep going and keep loving on others.
We have the perfect pro-love project for you to invite your friends and family in on. You can host a Share the Love event in your home, church, or business. At this event, you will assemble love boxes, and then you get to hand deliver these beautiful boxes to your local pregnancy center. Love boxes were created to help single and pregnant women be brave and choose life. It's so easy. We ship all of the items to you, along with planning tips for your event, and you get to be a pro-love hero in your community. To learn more about how you can host, visit www.embracegrace.com. Wow, I love what you just said about the birth mom dinner, about how they felt seen and heard. That's in the interviews that we're doing with different organizations and different areas of the pro-life movement. That's a common thread there, is that people want to feel valued and loved, that their stories matter, that somebody sees them and their pain or their joy or, whatever part of their journey it is. I just love that so much. Like, that's powerful.
Yeah, that was definitely our heart going into it, because I was talking to a birth mom last night who, she has a 3-year-old, and she's like, I cannot find another birth mom, and I just found this group. And that connection is just so valuable, even if it is a state away and it's only virtual, that just knowing there are others out there who feel this and experience this, and that I love that we can tangibly show, like, you matter. And I know that's what Embrace Grace does too. And I love you guys for all you guys do.
Oh, we love you too. Yeah, there was one birth mom that she went through Embrace Grace. This was a few years ago, and we got her connected to a ministry that has birth mother retreats once a year, and you have to apply, and it's totally free. They fly them out from anywhere to come for the few. I think they pick like 25 or so per year. And they try to let every person at least come once, and when she got done, she loved it so much. She was like, there were some girls that just placed their baby like within a year or two. And there were some women that placed their baby like 30 years ago. And she said, I just got so much out of hearing all the stories and knowing that I wasn't alone, because it's really hard to find other birth moms in the world. And it's really hard for people that haven't placed their baby to really fully understand the grief and fully understand all the complexities and thoughts. And like what you're saying, it's bittersweet. There's happy things and there's sad things and all of that. So to find another one is, I'm sure, so valuable to these moms, to find the community, because that is where we all need each other. And so you guys having a platform to be able to do that is so awesome. And I just love what you guys are doing. And so is there a story of a mom that you guys have helped recently, or that just really sticks out to you as an amazing testimony?
Yeah, so one of the things that we kind of threw together, there were a few birth moms in the area that were just placing, and we had a board member who was connected within that, and she just knew about them, and she was like, I would really love to come on and like love them. And so while we were gathering supplies for the birth mom dinner, we decided to rally up supplies for these birth moms who were going to the hospital and were placing soon. And after they had made their decision, were they going to place or not? And there was a couple who did, and we brought them a bag full of goodies of just practical items and just filled with things just to say, like, you matter. We see you. The same kind of what we've been talking about. You matter. We see you. And it was a birth mom and a birth dad, and they had placed 2 times before and said that they had never ever received anything after placement. They just went home and that was it.
Wow.
And so the fact they just sat there crying that like, you're noticing me in my pain and in my need, and it had never been done for them before. And so that really inspired us to start a new program hopefully in 2021 where we can send boxes a lot like Embrace Grace, but more geared towards the birth mom experience, to send hospital, practical items, but also items that are just to lavish and love on them, and just to say that, we see you and there's hope for you, and here's some resources for you. And so that sparked kind of a change inside of us, and something that we want to expand on, because of their response, that it meant something so much to them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so if people wanted to connect and get involved with your ministry, what kind of opportunities do you have for people that might be listening and their heart is stirred to like, oh my gosh, I really want to help birth moms in this way? What are ways that they can get involved?
Yeah. So, the biggest need, honestly, right now is donations to be able to keep going and keep doing this, and to expand our programs, to create this box idea that we have to go towards birth moms. We have another retreat coming. We're partnering with Birth Mom Buds in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that's an opportunity to help sponsor those birth moms for the dinner that we're going to provide, the gifts, decorations, things like that. And we're a little baby nonprofit. So if there's a volunteer, if there's someone who has a talent to give, that is absolutely welcome too. And I would love to talk with anyone who has a passion to want to help us.
Okay. And then how do they connect with you?
Yeah. So on Instagram, we're Woven-Togehter for Life. And our website is woven-togehter.com. We're on Facebook too, but it's a little less active there.
Yeah.
And it's Woven-Togehter for Life there too.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Leah, for sharing your story, for telling us about what you're doing. And I love how you took your own story and made that your fuel to go and be the support that you wish you had when you went through your experience of placing your baby for adoption. It's so amazing and inspiring to all of us. And we're just so thankful that you joined us today and shared with the world all that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. I love watching from the sidelines.
Oh, thank you. All right. Bye, Leah.
I'm so inspired by so many people using their stories of things that were meant to destroy them or tear them apart to empower others with healing and hope and encouragement. And Leah is so brave, and she's such a warrior, and I love that. She's like this. She seems so gentle and meek, but there's like fierceness behind all of that. I love her.
I know. Anytime we get to walk alongside women that choose to place their baby for adoption through Embrace Grace, I'm wrecked. I mean, I have cried so hard, and not out of sadness. I'm just more of like amazed and in awe. And one of the things we do in Embrace Grace, which is really cool for the birth moms, for moms that parent, we throw them a big baby shower, and that's kind of a fun celebration we do for them. But for the moms we choose to place their baby for adoption, then we have a party for them after they place their baby for adoption. And people come from all over. They buy gifts for them. I mean, they just had a pregnancy and they want to burn their maternity clothes. Yeah. It's a new season. So they get new clothes, they get makeup, jewelry, books, so many sweet engraved things with their baby's names on it. A lot of sentimental things. And one of the things too that I love we do is we also get this like big bowl of beads.
I might cry as you talk about
it's amazing. And these are women, most of them. Some of them have met the birth mom, but a lot of them just came from all over because they're so inspired by her selfless decision. But they go around and there's so many textures and colors and sizes of these beads, and women pull one out and then talk about like, I want this bead for you because, it's blue because it's the color of your baby's eyes, or this pearl because of the the hard things that you've gone through and you're being refined, or the red for the sacrifice you made. And they're stringing together this beautiful strand of beads, and someone's writing it all down too. So it's a moment that she'll never forget. And we're just speaking prophetic words over her and loving on her and speaking life into her. And by the time it's over,
everybody's sobbing.
And she feels so empowered, just like Leah was saying, those first few days, weeks, even the first couple years, it is a grieving process. So to be able to have all of this to hold on to, and then for our Embrace Grace girls to be able to get them connected to ministries like Woven-Togehter or Brave Love, or she mentioned the dinners that they're doing. How cool is that? Or the retreats that I had mentioned, getting them connected to support so that we can continue the love is so amazing.
Walking out the healing, because it's not one and done. Healing and freedom is a lifelong journey.
Right. And so you might be listening and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to walk alongside a single young mom that maybe is going to place her baby for adoption. Embrace Grace is a great opportunity for you, or also Woven-Togehter, getting connected with her. But Embrace Grace, you can go to embracegrace.com, get all the information on how you can start a group at your church. Also, for more ideas of how you can get involved in the movement, you can listen to past episodes of this podcast, or you can buy my new book, Help Her Be Brave, Discover Your Place in the Pro-Life Movement, available on Amazon or Embrace Grace website. And also share this podcast with your friends. Subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes for this show, and share it with all your friends. Tell all your friends to listen. The more people we can get involved in this movement, the more we can make abortion unthinkable, which is what we want to do. We want to help women be brave in choosing life. So thank you so much for listening today. We'll see you next time.